Willie D Live.
What's up, family? A 32-year-old woman went crazy on the police with a butcher's knife and lived to tell the story. The woman allegedly had a meltdown at a diner after her phone reportedly broke down while trying to buy food. You know this didn't happen in the U.S. It went down in Hong Kong, but all you U.S. police officers, take notes, check it out. Off rip, salute to the police officers in Hong Kong, because had that been the United States of America, her family would be planning a funeral, and it would not have had to go like that. See, I think we're in a very sad state of affairs when we make excuses for police officers killing people when they don't have to. What do we say, fam? Well, shouldn't have had the knife. Well, it was justified. Just like we have such little regard for human life. If we see something like that, we go, wow, we immediately give the police a pass, and it should not be like that. Now, yes, we should say, well, she probably should have known what to expect, because that's how they do. And perhaps we'll work on getting better, but in the meantime and in between time, we'll get at the police and lean on them to make certain that they treat people fairly. But in the meantime and in between time, we have to conduct ourselves in a certain way to adjust so that we don't end up on a slab in the morgue, because they will put you on a slab quickly. Police officers in the United States, it's like they're bloodthirsty. They look forward to killing citizens, especially black ones. They love it, man. I'm talking about, you can't tell me they don't love it, because they do it too quickly. And they don't even make an effort to spare life. They don't try to just injure you, like pop, you fall and that's it. They can move on in with caution and then handcuff you. No, they got to kill you. I've even seen a few of them reload and continue to shoot a body that is no longer moving. You've seen it? Somebody get hit, they and still shoot. Stop resisting, stop resisting. Pow, pow, pow. Stop resisting. Resisting? Look, I got 50 bullets in me, fool. What the hell you mean, stop resisting? But that's what they yell, that's their default yell. That's their default command to play in the courtroom after they kill you and your parents or your family and loved ones seek some type of retribution, right, or accountability. That woman was obviously mentally disturbed, right? And the police handled her the right way. They came in, they could have killed her if they wanted to, but no. They decided, you know what? We're just gonna go in here. It's more of us than it is her. Plus, we got the right equipment to keep ourselves safe. We ain't gotta kill her. We can just go in and use these shields and push her down. And notice how gently they pushed her to the ground. They pushed her to the ground with just enough force. They didn't pick her up and body slam her. They didn't take her head and crack it on the wall. They didn't DDT her, elbow her, kick her in the head. They used a reasonable amount of force to stop the threat. It was 12 of them, one of her, and keep in mind, fam, she had a big old ass butcher knife. And they still didn't kill her. And guess what else happened, fam? Miraculously, no police officer was injured in the making of that video or the taking in of that suspect. Not one police officer was injured. In America, they love to talk about how it's a split second, you know, we don't want to take any chances. We're trying to get home to our loved ones. We're trying to get home to our family, as if everybody else is not trying to get home to their family. Well, most of us are. Some of us, we do have a death wish, and I understand that part. I understand that sometimes people are so gone and they want suicide by cop. It's either them or you. I get that totally. But more often than not, the police kill people when they don't have to. They do it routinely. They do it so often that it has become part of their culture. This is what they do. And many of them, they love it. They love the power trip. I've heard police officers tell people who was not complying. I'm not talking about criminals. I'm not talking about somebody who was wanted for a double homicide and, who had robbed 50 banks or anything like that. I'm talking about just simple commands like traffic stops. I've heard police officers tell people, I will put you in the morgue. Shut up. Shut up. I'll make your life a living hell. Those cops handled that woman as if she was a human being. They handled her with humanity. There's a second video to this. It's a different angle from outside when the cops came in. It shows the police officers putting her on a stretcher. It shows her on a stretcher and being put into an ambulance. Now keep in mind, she just attacked the police with a knife, a butcher's knife. They didn't grab her, cuff her, beat her down, and throw her in the backseat of a squad car. They restrained her and put her on a gurney and then inside of an ambulance so that she could go to a mental facility to get proper care. Now, they probably arrested her later, but first they wanted to do a mental evaluation. That's how it's done. But you can't tell people in this country that. You can't tell law enforcement in this country yet. They gotta kill. Everything is us or them. It's kill or be killed. It's we gotta stop the threat. It's force. We gotta use force. Like they really get off on that part, that force part. They call it law enforcement. They should have called it just law force because they get off on using force where they really don't have to. So when we talk about these other countries and how horrible these countries that have dictators are. I get it. There's some good and bad. One of the biggest things for us is freedom of speech. And if you really want to put it in perspective, we really don't have freedom of speech. Ice-T said it a long time ago. Freedom of speech, just watch what you say. Because if you say the right thing about the wrong person, you could find yourself dead. You could find yourself lying up in a cold mortuary with a Y cut in your chest. This is the result of exercising your freedom of speech at times. Or you can find yourself out of a job, right? You could find yourself being ostracized in society, right? If you say something that's unpopular, right? It's all about the populace. You dig what I'm saying? So I absolutely salute the police officers that was involved in the detainment of that woman, because they showed mercy when they really didn't have to. But that's what they do. Their motto is to spare, to save life. Their motto is to show humanity toward their people. Now, we can talk about the white, the black, the brown in the United States all we want, and there are different tiers of law and respect, right? In this country, there's clear different tiers of law and respect. But even from the bottom to the top and everything in between, anybody can get it on any given day. So just because you think that you're part of the ruling class, don't think that it can't happen to you, because we've seen a number of times where it has happened. It just doesn't happen in the same way. You know, like typically white folks get a little bit more latitude than black people do, right? When it comes to dealing with law enforcement or being given the benefit of doubt. But you still have rogue police officers who take advantage of their position and make white people's lives a living hell, especially white people who live in small towns. I've heard horror stories from black people, Hispanics, and white people that live in small towns about white authority, white law enforcement, people involved in the judicial system, totally going rogue, totally corrupt, and sometimes killing people and threatening their lives. But what say ye, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.